Global happenings today. We communicate. We analyze global news.
Hello beautiful people, welcome back to our channel. Right now a lot is going on in Rivers State. Top politicians are no longer keeping calm. It's really getting out of hand, and they're literally calling on all and sundry, particularly the president, to wade into this matter because it's indeed getting out of hand. The likes of Peter Obi is literally lambasting not just the Supreme Court but possibly the three arms of governance, and he couldn't resist the urge not to mention names. Of course, Chief Dan Nwayanwu is not also keeping calm. A whole lot of them are talking almost at the same time, and they're calling on every party involved, including Mr. President. But before going to the newspaper, kindly subscribe to our channel. Let's start with what the former Anambra State Governor, former presidential candidate of LP, Peter Obi, who has voiced his frustration at the troubling state of the nation, lamenting the fixation on absurdities by the nation's leaders amid widespread hardship. And the Labour Party presidential candidate in the 2023 general election stated that leadership in Nigeria is rapidly descending into an embarrassing spectacle. Obi, in a statement on the social media handle, said that recent national discourse is awash with mundane and trivial conversation instead of discussions around the multiple challenges confronting the country. He said, and I quote him word for word, "We are at a time when our nation faces the highest level of actual and multidimensional poverty, soaring infant mortality rates, millions of out-of-school children, one of the most insecure and hunger-stricken nations on earth, grappling with escalating insecurity and countless other challenges. One would expect our leaders to be more focused or focusing on and sacrificing solely on providing urgent, transformative solutions to this myriad of problems, but not necessarily. Instead, the national discourse is consumed by trivialities, whether it is allegation of sexual harassment or budget padding in the National Assembly, controversies surrounding state houses of assembly speakership, reckless court judgments threatening to destabilize or deprive the state of funding to provide needed services to the citizens." Of course, referring to Rivers here. He also decried the judgment of the Supreme Court on the crisis rocking Rivers State, describing it as reckless and a threat to Nigerians' democracy. What is coming out of the three arms of government, the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary, is disgusting and uninspiring. The executive show of negative power, as seen in the Osun State, the reckless judicial pronouncement on Rivers State that is capable of threatening democracy, plus the embarrassing scandal from the National Assembly, all combined to give a gloomy picture of a democratic journey. Leaders in these three arms should avoid undue disruptive interference in affairs of subnational government activities. Urgent steps should be taken by the leadership of the three arms to stabilize our polity and stem politicians from defecting to parties where they feel it will be easier to rig them into office. This reckless neglect of serious governance is a grave disservice to the millions of Nigerians who deserve competent and accountable leadership focus on solving real problems. The blatant display of political rascality coupled with widespread irregularities paints a distressing picture of a leadership that has abandoned its core responsibility to the people and is making governance resemble a theatrical performance rather than a serious commitment to public service. While citizens bear the crushing weight of various hardship due to misgovernance, those in power prioritize personal interests and political gamesmanship over the nation's well-being. This mockery of leadership is not only unacceptable, it is a betrayal of the people's trust. Nigerians cannot afford to be governed like a reality TV show while millions suffer for so long. It is time for leadership rooted in character, competence, capacity, consistency, compassion, and urgency. Leadership that prioritizes education, healthcare, and poverty alleviation. Anything less threatens the nation's stability, undermines the present, and betrays the nation's future, he said. Of course, Dan Nwayanwu is not left out. He said that Nigeria's President, Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has been called upon not just to allow his political surrogate destroy the country's democratic dispensation by throwing away the baby democracy with the bath water. He was therefore called to, as a matter of urgency, that national importance take place and save Nigerians' democracy. The call was made by the national chairman of ZLP, Chief Dan Nwayanwu, while speaking to journalists in Abuja, as contained in a statement released by the National Publicity Secretary of the party, Khalid Arewa, as of some few hours ago. National chairman of Zenith Labour Party, that's ZLP, said that they convened an emergency meeting because of anti-democratic music booming in Rivers, Osun, and Lagos. According to him, we of ZLP sincerely bemoan the ugly and anti-democratic booming in Rivers, Osun, and Lagos State. We call on Mr. President to halt the less than melodic music forthwith, especially when it is allegedly emanating from its political surrogates like ministers Nyesom Wike, Oyetola, and Honorable Obasa of Lagos State House of Assembly. He added that we caution against Osun and Lagos State rehearsing the Wild Wild West, and River State rehearsing the dangerous militancy in the oil region witnessed in the past. It could be recalled that all manner of political crisis has been brewing in some states, heating up the polity and leading to the Supreme Court. When reminded that Mr. President cannot interfere in legal matters, Dan Nwayanwu replied that in as much as ZLP subscribes, it is our considered view that sometimes political solution is required. He retorted, what is the legal status of 27 members of the Rivers Assembly who defected from the political party that sponsored their election to another political party in the absence of division in leadership position at the national level of the party? And what is the effect of the affidavit sworn on oath by them admitting and defecting to another political party? He stressed that as if that was not enough, attempts are now being made to withdraw the same affidavit sworn to by them to enable them eat their cake and still have it. It is common sense that they have left their political party by the very acts carried out by them in December 2023. Even an unborn child can attest to the very act of defection, announcement, and video recordings of same, as well as the reception organized by the party and they decamped into. That is the background of the basis of the crisis that led to the withholding of funds and other ancillary matters, he added. The ZLP national chairman stated that abuse of privilege and opportunities has now become the order of the day, and we cannot all keep quiet. Recall when you and I were struggling for survival of democracy in 1993, in late MKO Abiola denied elected president of Nigeria House as our meeting point. These characters were not here or close to you in the struggle. In sum, the ZLP submitted that the intervention of Mr. President is very urgent because we live in a region where democracy is regrettably in recession, hinting that this is how political crisis of Wild Wild West started, he added. According to him, imagine the unintended consequences of the Wild Wild West and the dire economic consequences if in less than transparent manner His Excellency Fubara, that's the governor of Rivers State, is impeached, and in reaction the job boy starts sabotaging oil flow. It's not an irony that withholding of local government funds under whatever forum shopping is happening under President Tinubu? Dan Nwayanwu asked. Wow, this is really interesting. In summary, my colleague is in the house. In summary, what's your take?
Well, I really love the words of Nwayanwu when he said that democracy in this part of the country is on recession right now, and that's exactly what is going on. Unfortunately, most people want to see this kind of trend go on, where certain people are outside power, but they are controlling the state. They hate so much that the people were given 100,000 naira by December that just passed. They hate so much that the generality of people are getting power. They love so much that people were in one position for as long as 8 years in civil service without promotion, even when their loved ones were part of it. They love so much whatever that was happening then, and they just want to see it continue. And that's why you see them everywhere trying to fight. But I love the fact that some key stakeholders, the likes of Peter Obi and also Nwayanwu, have decided to step up to speak to the leadership. This is not what we are seeking for. As much as we know, the entirety of Rivers State were in support to bring in Fubara. The same thing in Osun, the same thing in Lagos State. We need to create a balance here. No matter how you allow someone to go haywire, at a point you tell him, hey, come on, you need to hold your break here, because unfortunately, whatever that will be done to dent democracy as at this time the fingers will not be pointed at anybody. They will say, who was the president as at then? The president should take into consideration all of that. And if this whole issue saga in Rivers State go haywire, and at the end of the day, we're seeing people who were long forgotten in the creek, they are back again. They are taking over our oil installations and all of that. Of what help would it be to our nation? The next thing, new lines of fighting and all of the international community will begin to cry out at what's going on. Come on, because of what? No matter what the person offers you, at a point you need to tell him to break, because unfortunately what we are seeing today seems as though an elected officer, they want to pocket him, and they run the state the way they want it to be run. Imagine this kind of thing. Someone who has been hoisted out from office from 16th of June 2024 is demanding that he should be reinstated. Not reinstated on the grounds that I still had some period of time I should be in office. But this one, you are making strong demands that you should be reinstated again, even when your time... I mean, it's like I've never seen this kind of thing in my entire life, and people are supporting it. You hear them, they come to the social media, they say, you that is saying that such things shouldn't happen, you are the one that's talking. They gave 3 months. That 3 months is enough for them to plan out the election. Why don't you allow peace to reign in this state? If Ubara has accepted, okay, I'm going to allow everything to run based on the demands of the Supreme Court, why don't you guys just wait and see what he's going to do? I mean, this money, because all of this is not because they love Rivers State, neither the local government so much, but the whole thing revolves around money. Money is the only thing. Revenue, we have to control the revenue and all of that. But I'm hopeful that maybe the president will listen this time around and do the needful, because he's the commander-in-chief and he needs to stand up and do what is right.